on tight end. Wait.
Three, two, one. Liftoff.
So Mother's Day, we are still going to draft a team because we are sickos. Today we're not going to be doing underdog though. Today we are going to draft over on DraftKings. So we will wait a second. And the goal today, as stated in the opening, is to draft a solo tight end team. What's going on, Benjamin? As there's been a lot of debate over it this last week. I think it's insane to have these arguments right now, in terms of adapting new strategies for best ball and fantasy football in general. I mean, obviously, some strategies we're going to all kind of push back on here and there. So I do get it from that aspect, but to completely dismiss it without giving any pure reasoning seems silly, right? So I think it's actually viable this particular year. And I think that is the key takeaway to best ball. If you listen to Eric and Pat's show, I've only gotten through a little bit of it, but they're talking about the ADP market in that show. And I think that is what this game is. It's a market game. However, I think we look at it as the wrong type of market game. I actually, from what I heard, they were attacking it the way that I think of it, which is it's a market game based on construction. How is the market affecting the types of teams you construct? Not how is the market going after the players, making it so that you want to draft certain players, right? Now, there are player takes, you're going to have player stands, you're going to have all that other stuff as well. But I think the overall thesis of best ball is attacking how you build your teams from what the market is allowing. And I think the market is quite different this year in that aspect from other years for certain positions. So we will jump into a draft. Let's go ahead. Let's get into it. Everyone has Mother's Day gifts. Mother's Day gifts. Well, I hope you have Mother's Day gifts if you're a mother, but it has Mother's Day activities planned. So we will jump into our DraftKings. We're going to do the $20 Best Ball Championship and get in there and enter. And we need 7 more people. So good thing we jumped in now and we can continue having this conversation. And we will start playing some music as well, because that's what we do on Sundays, right? So I think that is important to, when you're having these conversations. It's not me telling you you have to what you think is best. Jesse, do you have less of a family if you are in here actually watching a best ball stream on Mother's Day? Some of us have to work for a living, right? And that's what we're doing. We're sitting here working. Good morning, Felix. I think this is a great point from Benjamin. He said that one solo tight end team made the finals last year. Probably a pretty good advance rate for how infrequently it was used. And that is like my next key point. So what a great segue, Benjamin. Maybe you should take over the shows on Sundays. We're basing it off historical data on something that hasn't been used very often. Didn't we do this a few years ago with zero RB? Aren't we still kind of doing it with zero RB? And a lot of us that are doing drafts, it may have already come around to that. My main thesis is, if I'm drafting a Trey McBride, right, and we're using a specific player as just a very particular, like as one of the elites. So you can interplace Trey McBride with Mark Andrews, George Kittle, Travis Kelce, whoever you want, right? You can layer them with those. And what does Noah Fant do for those teams is what I said on Twitter. And Noah Fant could be any of those bottom end tight ends. Last year, different marketplace. Sam Laporta was down there. A lot of guys that we liked that were younger were down there. Marketplace is a little bit different this year. There's not a lot of late tight ends that I actually really am comfortable getting on my team. So that is the way that I'm looking at it this year. It doesn't mean that I'm drafting 150 DraftKings teams with the solo tight end, right? And our tradition continues where we're gonna get the 8th pick. So the 8th pick is interesting. I see Felix is in here. Good job not backing out. Good job getting in there. So we're going to be drafting 8th overall here. We do have our percentages up. So what I have showing today is my tourney percentage, my slate percentage, just because I've been doing a lot of the $3. So I thought it would be good to show that for now as well. And then my combination with my first 3 round picks. So that's what my percentages on screen are today. I will end up adjusting some of these colors here and there as well. But yeah, the game plan. Why did I show it as an entire... Hold on. Who am I? Who am I? What am I doing? Showing the entire screen. Do I not know how to stream? Have I never done this in my life? Jesus Christ. Happy Mother's Day. That's what I will say. Came dangerously close to paying for our entire best ball season yesterday with a very nice round robin on DraftKings. I had 5 baseball teams to... All right, DraftKings, relax. I had 5 baseball teams that I picked to win by 2 runs or more. And then I had the Celtics money line and hit on all 6 except for the Orioles, who only won by a run. We were really close to just having the best Mother's Day of my life, I guess, is what I'll say. Selfishly. Day before Mother's Day. But we're on the clock at 8 when this draft starts. Anyone else in here other than me and Felix? Let me know in there. Felix had a Millie team with only 1 viable tight end last year. And that's the point, all right? Like, it's the position itself. I think it's easier to have the 1 tight end discussion than the solo QB discussion. And even then, that it's so slate specific on, or tournament specific on, what we're talking about with that stuff too. So you go back, you watch the Mastiff draft I did last year, 6 out of 12 advanced, and then it was like 3 out of 6 and 2 out of 4 until you were in the finals. The hell do I need more than Patrick Mahomes in that if I'm trying to get the top 6, right? I'm not trying to get the top 2 in that tournament. I only needed an elite quarterback. We made the finals with solo quarterback in that tournament. I felt great about it. I felt getting the extra wide receiver bullet really was needed with the construction of that team. So I think everything is, you gotta be willing to have the conversation and not just shut things down immediately. Bijan goes. That's sad. We thought maybe we would get Bijan at the 8. Not this morning though. All right, we can get AJ Brown or Breece Hall. We have not gotten either yet. So I'm probably going to take one of those 2 because I still do want Breece. AJ Brown goes there. So let's grab a Monera. We'll take a Monera at the 8 spot here. I'm fine with that. Don't have any of him. Probably adjust my colors on this screen at some point. Can you guys see everything? I can go a little closer if we need be, but we'll hit the draft board too. So it does start CMC, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson. This top 5, 6, 7 players on DK is very mixed up with those players I've been seeing. So do like that. So we're starting a Monera here. Breece goes at the 10 spot. Don't love the 8 spot. Billy is a fan of the title. Likes the title of the show. We were creative this morning. We were a little creative this morning. We were in a mood. I'm in a mood all week. Basically, I'm in a fighting mood. I'm in the meme, sit down, I'll argue with you about anything. That's been me the last like 5 days or so. So We're getting it all out of our system right now. But we're about to be back on the clock here. We see Jonathan Taylor, Devontae Adams, Chris Olave, Kyron, Ayuk on board at the moment. We have to see where the guy in front of us goes. He might auto Taylor. Ooh, he goes DJ Moore. We're going to take Olave here, a guy that I am starting to get quite a bit of just because of the way I'm drafting teams. So let's grab Olave, and we're going to be iced for a little bit here. So we start Amon-Ra, Chris Olave. So another thing that I like is I know I'm getting heavy on Olave, but I haven't drafted Amon-Ra on DraftKings yet, and I want to make sure I still have my Amon-Ra Olave team. So making sure that that happens as well. Is anyone else in this draft with us? Just out of curiosity, other than me and Felix, as we try to navigate very specific. Well, that makes sense, Billy. Billy says that, but this Nerd Blue solo onesies can be viable. Well, that's who I'm talking to. We are the nerds. We are the ones who want to do this. We are the nerds. So we're getting in. We're getting in our Spike Week car. I guess it's sky blue. Don't love that. We're going to have to discuss that with Eric. I don't think I want a sky blue car. So we're going to have to work on the color of the Spike Week vehicle. But we're going to get in our car. We're going to draft one tight end. And yeah. Jesse saying the show brought to you by Monster Energy. We do have our Mary Lou's coffee today. We had not finished it. I was busy working on video things, so sometimes I get so enthralled with it that I forget that I have a coffee to drink. So we will drink our coffee as we draft a solo tight end team. Yeah, I think it's a conversation to have throughout the summer. And I think it's an evolving conversation. But I think that's the other problem with the best ball space is no one understands that this game is rapidly evolving, and what was viable last year from certain lenses is not viable this year, and then this year might not be next year. I did, Jesse. I did put that together. So yeah, it's knowing what you can do in a very specific. We're looking at one slate. We see a little Porta go here in the third round. We're 2 away. And we see Pittman go. Do we want to do the Kelsey thing? I don't think I want to do Kelsey. I think I want to grab another wideout quickly. And we're going to grab Devonta Smith. We're going to start 3 wideouts. We're going to start with Amon-Ra, Chris Olave, Devonta Smith. Pull our draft board back up here. We do see Kelsey go to Felix at the 10 spot. So I'm not opposed to doing it with Kelsey. I just don't want to do this particular team with Kelsey today. Not on Mother's Day. You can't do a solo Kelsey team on Mother's Day. He's not even a mother, some say. So Mahomes getting pulled up to the 3rd round. That's intriguing. We see Teddy Bear go with the QB double tap. Mahomes, Lamar, Josh Allen all go right there at that turn. Felix is back on the clock here. You know, we're going to have to start making some decisions on our own on what we want to do. As RHDY1 is on the clock. He takes Pacheco. We're going to do it with the cover boy. It is Mother's Day. We put Trey McBride on the cover. we're going to take Trey McBride. That's our solo tight end. So the team starts off with Amon-Ra, Chris Olave, Devonta Smith, and Trey McBride as our team right now. And we're not going to draft another tight end unless we auto draft somehow, which is a possibility. But the plan is not to. Ben is asking, going off one slate, do you think onslaughts are overutilized, specifically Philadelphia, Atlanta, Detroit, San Fran, the expensive ones? Don't they have a bad win rate in single game slates? Yes, I think I do agree with this take. I think we get a little too ambitious on some of those teams on onslaughts just because of the pricing, right? Overall, we do want those teams, but if you wanted to do an Eagles onslaught, right, you would have had to go AJ Brown. You would have had to go your first 3 rounds with all Eagles. And I think it's just not something I want to do frequently at all. And not Benjamin, but Ben says Trey McBride noted to Mom Haver. Then this is perfect, right? So we've established this perfectly by getting Trey McBride here. So I do like the team so far. We're doing a solo tight end team. It's turning into a 0 RB build. I know it's shocking to be doing a 0 RB build here on the Spike Week channel. Eric infamously only drafts running backs in the first, 3 to 12 rounds, from what I recall. So a little different for us. You see Hurts, Stroud, and Anthony Richardson all go here at the end of the 4th into the early 5th round. So 6 quarterbacks through 14 picks. Can I count? Yeah, 14 picks. So something we are notating as we get through here. And if I didn't take Trey McBride in that spot, the goal would have been to kind of push this a little bit and get Mark Andrews with our next pick. It would have been close. You can usually get him in the middle of the 5th here, which is a little bonkers to me, but something we could have done. What I want to do with our next pick is, do I want Kirk or do I want Worthy? God, this team just screams Worthy. I think we're going to do it. Are we overweight on him? You bet your ass we are. Are we still going to draft him? Absolutely. It's Mother's Day. Live a little. Have some fun. It's hard for Billy to not draft 0 RB teams. Yeah, I'm drafting 0 and hero RB teams. I'm doing my Bijan teams. I'm going to do Breece Hall teams, although those are a little harder to do because he almost has to fall specifically to the 8 or 9 spot with all the receivers I like in front of him gone. And I even sort of like AJ Brown better than him a little bit. So it makes it a little bit more difficult. This room is a little strange in terms of what they've done with some... what do I want to do here? As we prepare to be on the clock. I mean, my intuition is to generally grab another receiver here, but I have a feeling we're not going to get Kyler back, and I kind of want to do this Kyler stack, so I'm just going to draft him in the 6th round, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with getting the Kyler McBride stack with the 4th and 6th round picks here. I think I am establishing the type of team I want, so pulling Kyler up a few spots is fine by me. Versator saying, how is Rashee Rice at ADP 80, not 100% click? The only reason I'm not taking Rashee Rice in every draft is to help him fall more, is what I will say. So that is why I'm not drafting Rashee Rice in every draft at the moment. And so the complete inverse of solo tight end is I like double elite tight end this year too. You don't have to, just because you like something, you don't do it every single draft, right? So we do see two teams that go with Kincaid and Kittle and Andrews and Pitts, and I like that, especially on a team like this Bijan team that's starting. Bijan hits 3 wide receivers, goes double tight end here. That's a fun team to start, right? Not sure what Danny's thoughts are here from the 4 spot, going with 2 Dolphins, grabbing Debo, then grabbing Hurts, setting up 2 Dolphins. Then he has the 2 tight ends. He has 2 49ers, and he has Hurts. That Hurts pick really sticks out like a sore thumb because he could have done Kincaid, and I would have pushed Kittle to do probably God, why is the name escaping me? Why can't I think of the name of Dallas Goedert? That's all I'm saying there. But in the moment, maybe it seemed like he wanted to do a specific thing. All right, so we're on the clock here. Let's grab Brian Thomas Jr. Let's grab another wide out here. Get ourselves 5 wide receivers. We have Amon-Ra, Olave, Devonta Smith. Then we grab Xavier Worthy and Brian Thomas Jr. as our 2 rookies. Kyler with the Trey McBride stack at the moment. Digging the team as it is getting established currently. Benjamin is saying that he swears everyone was saying not to double count Worthy's 40 time pre-NFL draft, that he's a fine prospect but needs work. He goes to the Chiefs and is now in the 50s above Brian Thomas Jr. and Odunze. It's a lot of that situational. Odunze is going to really have to win out on talent, and there is a let's make our pick here. I would like to take Rasheed, but we're not gonna. We're gonna take Ramondre. We're gonna get our first running back and the 8th round and grab Ramondre Stevenson, who I do like a lot this year. But it becomes situational to where he is playing. He's playing in Kansas City. Hollywood Brown, they signed in the offseason. We know Hollywood Brown is Hollywood Brown at this point. Rashee Rice is, heading down some sort of path, is all we'll say, where suspension is not just likely, but inevitable, very Thanos-like. And Travis Kelce is Travis Kelce, but 38 years old, and his girlfriend makes more money than, probably 50% of the countries out there. So I think they're going to utilize Kelce in a very specific way in this season. That's why I didn't want to do a solo tight end team with Kelce. Kelce's individual individual game upside. Those were the words we were trying to put together. Is still, elite. But there is just a spot for Xavier Worthy to slip in. It doesn't mean he's going to. But on a team like this, it's why he's getting shot up the boards. And then if you put him on the right type of team where he's your 4th wide receiver, your 5th, around guys like Amon-Ra, Chris Olave, Devonta Smith, right? We hit on that as well. We hit on Worthy there. The landscape has changed. This isn't the Ja'Marr Chase thing. This goes to the point, right? Where when Ja'Marr Chase came out 2-3 years ago, he was in the 5th round. We thought he was an elite prospect. He had some red flags of not being able to catch footballs as a wide receiver, which is funny now. But we thought the 5th round was insane for him back then. The collective, we were still drafting him in the 5th round. But look at what those receivers are doing now. Marvin Harrison flirts with the 1st round. Neighbors is up there. Odunze, who was behind a couple guys, is still up there quite a bit. So we're gonna just pile on to this Arizona bet and grab Trey Benson here as our second running back. I'm back in on the Cardinals this year, if you haven't been able to tell. But I like getting Stevenson and Benson in the spot where we are having our build of a 2 RBs, 5 wide receivers, a quarterback, and a tight end right now. So as I just absolutely destroy this board, which is fine because we're on the clock next. And we're going to do a little bit of scrolling here, see what we like. Are we into anything? Let's grab Singletary. Have I not drafted him in this tournament yet? Wow, interesting. I have not. So let's grab Devin Singletary. I think he is a good bet over there with the Giants. So we got a 1-3-5-1 build at the moment. Christopher thinks that Hollywood Brown finishes better than Worthy this year. Rookies take a while to come in Andy's system, and Andy already said that Worthy is starting the year returning kicks. Sure. I wouldn't be overly shocked if Hollywood finishes better than him. I honestly wouldn't be shocked if Worthy overtakes him midway through the year. And how are you constructing your teams with Worthy, right? So is Worthy my wide receiver 1? No, he's my 4th wide receiver drafted. So if he comes along in the 7th or 8th week in a best ball tournament where we have other wide receivers that can share that load with a Monroe, with a Lave, what if Brian Thomas comes on right away in that offense for some reason, right? We hit on one of these guys and we are giving them a chance to come along. And Xavier Worthy feels like a spike week type of guy in terms of not just like our site, but this is a dude that is capable of just putting up massive weeks. And I'm going to take my chance on that right now. I'll probably try. I'm having trouble mixing in Hollywood because of the guys around him, but I'm going to find a way to start square peg round holing that for myself, making sure I get my fits in with Hollywood Brown. But for now, I'm not doing it. I'm taking my Worthy now. I know he's starting to settle. So I'm going to take Worthy now, just in case he does move up a little bit more. And I'm fine with it at the moment. But I can totally see Hollywood outscoring him. I can see Rashee Rice coming back in week 7, 8, 9, 13, 20, 27, maybe, and being the better pick. But we're going to take shots on that offense. We just are. We do see Chase Brown go. I'm still trying to talk myself into some Eckler, and I haven't been able to do it. Just everything screams not the right situation for Eckler in Washington, and that it's kind of done. Mentally, I want to talk myself. I don't want to talk myself into being overweight on him, but I'm trying to talk myself into grabbing him some. And every time he's on the board, I just see guys around him that I like better. So that kind of sucks a little bit. We are going to be on the clock here. And let's grab Herbert. Let's try to do some backdoor stuff with Herbert. I think is the play. Benjamin wants to know over or under 0.5 more misdemeanors committed by Rice before the preseason. Put it on the parlay. But bro, what are you doing? I understand you're young and you have money. I think I would bubble wrap myself after that racing incident. I think I would just bubble wrap myself completely and just be like, I can't continue this. Cannot continue living this way. We are on the clock here with our 2-3-5-1. I have more quorum than I thought I was going to have. We're gonna take Zeke, and we're just gonna keep hammering him, especially when he falls past where he's going. Do we love it? We're not going to talk about it. That's the new rule on the Sunday show. When we draft Zeke, we are not going to talk about it. You're not allowed to bring it up in chat. I'm not allowed to say his name after we draft him. We're going to finish this bit, but we're going to have a moment of silence after drafting Zeke for having to draft Zeke in 2024 on the Cowboys as number 15. But you as chat are not allowed to talk about it. Me as your host is not going to acknowledge it. We're just going to click the button going forward, and we're going to talk about something else. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about drafting Zeke. We have to sometimes, but we don't have to discuss it. We are going to cone of shame him. He's going to stare in the corner. He's going to be off on his own. Our other 17 players are going to be huddled up around us, and Zeke is going to be, eating a hot dog down the street somewhere. I don't know, whatever fat guys do. So that's that. And now he will not be mentioned again on the Sunday show. So there you go. All right. We're going to be coming back up on the clock here in a second with our 2-4-5-1 build. What is happening here? I can't get the players. We have gotten to players. Anyone got any fun things going on this week? Oh, there will be no show next Sunday. I will be in Pennsylvania. So, no Sunday show next week. Let's just go ahead and grab Quentin Johnson. Speaking of players we hate. I don't want to talk about QJ. I don't want to talk about the other guy. Do you even remember his name? I hope not. But we drafted a guy we had to draft. And that's that. All right, let's get back down this draft board for a second. We are through round 13 is finishing up here. Since my mom doesn't watch the show, I'll tell you what she wants for Mother's Day, which is just eye rolling. But we'll have that discussion because it might be the Zeke of Mother's Day gifts. All right, we are back on the clock. We are sitting on a 2-4-6-1 build. And God, if Ray Davis doesn't feel like the best pick right now, right here, then I don't even know who we are. So we are done with that pick. I'll talk about the Mother's Day thing in a second because I think I missed this question from Ben. Is it completely wrong to just plan for zero Eckler? I can't see myself taking him when he's ahead of Robinson still. I think it's fine. I think you can have like those individual player stands like that. I might have zero Eckler. I'm trying not to. I'm trying to talk myself into him. And this is kind of the way I play best ball too, where I have zero of a player. My mom wants one of those desk like steppers, like where you sit at your desk and it's like the desk treadmill, desk stepper things. And my mind cannot conceive how that does anything for you, unless like it's for like you just want movement. But I don't think you can't be getting any exercise, right? 0% chance, like a 0.01 increase. And they're just like the most eye-rollingly dumb things of all time. That's what she wants for her Mother's Day gift, which is insane to me. Like, that is what Zeke uses to work out. He sits at his desk and eats goddamn cereal while streaming video games. We already know. We want to draft Luke McCaffrey, who's been moving up a little bit as people like to draft him more. And we are at a 2-5-7-1 build at the moment. So let's see who gets drafted. Yeah. Do like Javon. I've been drafting a lot of Javon Baker too. So, like, a lot of rookies I've been taking in this range. I feel like we are the only solo tight end drafter. You guys didn't follow the eligibility requirements. Who took Darren Waller in the 14th round? Good morning, Shuby. Welcome to the one tight end draft on Mother's Day, where we exclusively have only drafted one tight end on this team. We will not be drafting a second tight end at all. And we are back on the clock. And we're going to draft another running back, and we're going to take Bucky Irving, who we have drafted quite a bit of. But even though we've drafted so much of him, we have not taken him yet with our first round pick, who was Amon-Ra St. Brown. And why haven't we taken him with Amon-Ra St. Brown? Because we have not taken Amon-Ra on DK until today. I am a sicko. I am. Development. What is going on with this team? Fourth rate med starts AJ Brown, Devonta Adams, DK Metcalf, Zay Flowers, Aaron Jones, DeAndre Swift, Jordan Addison, James Conner, Javonte Williams seems normal. TJ Hawkinson, Jacoby Myers, then just barrels. Mayfield, Watson, Levis, Carr, Geno Smith. So, if you were wondering, I mean, if you're going to draft 5 quarterbacks, I guess that's how to do it. It's a choice, but it's built the way that you should build for it, I would say, other than, I don't know, man, TJ Hawkinson as your sole tight end. I wasn't talking about going that extreme with solo tight end. That seems like not the way. So let's monitor that. Because the last thing I want is for a freaking draft to get thrown out. I might do a daily NBA on Underdog after this. Quickly. Might want some of those teams. I wanted more Fields, but you guys are too good. You guys have been getting Fields in spots right before I grab them. So, need to adjust what I'm doing there. All right. We are 2 picks away. With a 2-6-7-1 build at the moment. And where do we want to go here? Did Shark sign with somebody? I feel like he just signed, didn't he? Not that I'm drafting him. I'd rather take McMillan. Or I don't. Let's take Shipley. I kind of know what I want to. So it's funny because I kind of know what I want to do with my last 2 picks. I know where I want to go with them. For sure, I know where I want to go with them. Michael is asking, wouldn't it be better to wait to get the information edge who wins the RBG2 job for the Colts, Eagles in roles of rookie wide receivers? Sure, if you want to pay higher prices. Like, that's part of the game, right? Like, if we're willing to take that risk now. So if we're taking that risk now and we hit, we're getting them with better combinations of players. I totally understand the thought process there, but the reason we do it is because of that. So we want to grab Brendan Rice here to go. Oh shit, this was the 18th round. All right, a little bit of a reach, but that's fine. We'll get Rice now. This is why you pay attention in school, kids. Oh, Chark went to the Flyers. I went to the team where we were stacking up. Yeah, I mean, whatever. I'm gonna take Rice over Chark too, so I'm fine with it. But yeah, Michael, if we're doing that, then once you get that information edge, you're paying higher prices. If we know Will Shipley is the number 2 and it's clear, then that price is going to rise significantly. We're trying to, when you're drafting early, if you're willing to draft early, you should have a higher risk tolerance, and B, you should be using that risk tolerance to take players that have, higher upside, right? So Will Shipley, ambiguous if he's the number 2 right now. Kenneth Gainwell's still there, but if he wins that job, the payoff's better. So that's why you're drafting in May. If you want all the information, if you're fine with that, then you should be waiting until August and September, if that's how you're more comfortable drafting. But I would say don't draft safe in May. Like, you should be drafting safer the later in the season because you have more information. We're trying to attack spots right now. So I'll show you some examples on the board when we come up, like players that I'm just not going to touch in the 19th and 20th round that are still there, because we'll go through them. I'll just start rattling them off. Like, why are we going to take Odell Beckham here? He's going to get drafted in 100%. Well, I don't want to say 100%, but most of the DK drafts, because he's a name and people are comfortable with the name, right? Tyler Boyd is the ultimate example of this. Who the hell wants Tyler Boyd this year? So you can go down the list and you can find some guys like this. As you scroll down, AJ Dillon is still going to get drafted right now because people are like, well, AJ Dillon's back. He's already been with the Packers. He's probably the number 2. And it's just probably not the case. We saw what AJ Dillon did last year. So would you rather have AJ Dillon, or would you rather have a guy that actually has some upside like Estime? Is Estime going to be on the field this year? Probably not. But his ceiling, if he does make it to the field, is higher than AJ Dillon. Even if AJ Dillon gets on the field, his upside is running 5 yards, collapsing in a heap, because that's about as far as he can make it, right? Like, so bet on the upside, especially early when you're drafting. I want one more receiver. Grab Malik Washington. And then I know how I want to end my draft. So we'll grab Malik Washington here. I think we've established a good system of vets and rookies on this team, right? We started off with Amon Ra, Chris Olave, Devonta Smith, Trey McBride. First rookie was Xavier Worthy. We got Kyler on the team. Brian Thomas is another rookie. Ramondre, Trey Benson, Devin Singletary, Herbert, thou who shall not be named, QJ, who certainly does play football, maybe. Ray Davis, Luke McCaffrey, Bucky Irving, Will Shipley, Brendan Rice, Malik Washington. Yeah, we saw the 5 QB team, Jake. We established that was happening. So, hashtag DK. You know? This is a DK situations that you run into. God, if you grab my guy here, Felix. I feel like Felix is the only one that might grab him. But I think he's still obscure enough that he's not getting drafted. So Felix grabs Traylon Burks, which I am fine with. We are going to wrap our draft with an RB. And we're going to take Jair Jordan from Houston. Grabbing a bunch of him right now. It's exactly the situation that I was just outlining. Dameon Pierce lost that job quickly last year. They've drafted another running back. They went and got Joe Mixon. I don't think they like Dameon Pierce too much in Houston. So we're gonna take a bet in the 20th round on a guy that could usurp him as the number 2 and take Jair Jordan. Jair. We'll learn how to say his name by September 1st. Is going to be the goal. But until then, let's read through our team. We want Amon-Ra, Chris Olave, Devonta Smith, Trey McBride, single tight end team with a 2-8-9-1 build. McBride anchoring that. Xavier Worthy, Kyler Murray, Brian Thomas, Ramondre Stevenson, Trey Benson, Devin Singletary, Justin Herbert, Zeke, QJ, Ray Davis, Luke McCaffrey, Bucky Irving, Will Shipley, Brendan Rice, Malik Washington, Jair Jordan, lots of rookies, lots of vets. And we get a Cardinal stack. We get a Chargers stack. We get some of the rookie running backs we like. We get some of the vets we like. We get some of the vets we don't like. We see 5 quarterbacks go to one person in a row. So overall, felt like a very solid team. Let's do a bonus underdog NBA draft. How about that? If anyone wants to do a daily. I don't trust any coach speak in May, to be perfectly honest. Oh man, are we doing this underdog thing again? Where it just doesn't do what it's supposed to do? Okay. Oh man. Let me remove this for a second and why is that showing up as my password? Okay. And I've gotten locked out of underdog. We love that. I love that so much. So for some reason, it was telling me my saved password as my email address, which is great. So I'll see if I can reset it in about 2 seconds. And if I can, then we will do an NBA draft. I love resetting passwords. It's one of my favorite things, honestly. Love it so much. Wow, is it not showing? That is not what my screen shows. We're going to remove it and we'll bring it back on. Let's represent the screen. All of this for an NBA draft, huh? Let's do a daily. And let's do the Sunday shoot around. And let's enter. We'll see if he's better than Mixon. I don't think that they're gonna. I mean, he could be a late, come on late in the season, Dustin. I mean, Mixon could get hurt. I just like Jordan in the 20th round, also. So, and we get the 104 because, of course, we do. What's up with Halliburton? Is he hurt? Listed as questionable. All right. Also, very much an amateur at basketball, especially dailies. Me, not good. I know what my weaknesses are on it, and I don't play enough, which is such a bad excuse, to work on that. Well, I don't play enough to work on them enough. And then I allow myself to fall into those bad tropes on these. So that's why repetition is important, because it allows you to work through that stuff. I only fire these every once in a while. So it's not great. Let's grab Hartenstein. Yeah, I want Hartenstein. No. You know what? Let's grab our Qs here. Let's trust in Jamal Murray and Tyrese Halliburton. I like Siakam a lot. The one thing I've noticed in these drafts is getting Siakam in the second is huge today. I really like that. So that's something I'm trying to do. I'm acting like I'm firing 150 teams. I'll probably fire 10 of these today. But I like Siakam in the second round. All right. We see Miles Turner go. We'll grab Michael Porter. And we'll grab Karl Anthony Towns as a bring back. My problem is, it's so funny because my problem in this is like the thing that I don't care about in the NFL. I get so tied to the projection that I get scared to draft anyone else. And if I drafted more, it just wouldn't bother me at all. I would know how to mix and match those guys more. But on NBA dailies, I am just not good at it. But we know our limitations. Maybe I'll fire one more after this because these go pretty quick. We're still under an hour, so then we'll let everyone go celebrate Mother's Day. Teach your mom how to draft NBA teams. So I feel like this is where I'm supposed to be scrolling a bit more. So let's grab Obi Toppin. Let's just grab all the Q tags. Why not? All right. So we got Jamal Murray, Tyrese Halliburton, Michael Porter, Karl Anthony Towns, Obi Toppin, and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Let's draft one more. They go fast enough. Let's bang through one more. Riveting stuff, this NBA daily, right? Oh, look. Our good friend Mike Zakarian is in this draft. So, if you are looking for NBA content, highly suggest, like, just overall, he's not just best ball, he does best ball, but Mike Zakarian over at Team Hold, I would highly suggest checking out his content. He's been on the channel a few times, and strangely enough, grew up, but came up through the poker streets with Mike Zakarian. So one way I think I can flip the build here is I do like Brunson, obviously. How could you not like Jalen Brunson? But I think just moving Edwards up to that 102 is something we can do to alter things a little bit. I mean, it's very, very slight, but it's something. So I think I'm going to grab Edwards at the 102 here. That's the way I want to play it. See Brunson go, we see Halliburton, we see Jamal Murray go. Hartenstein. I'm going to grab Siakam. I'm going to pull Siakam up. And I think I want Turner. Right? I think that's the way I want to play that. Do I know what I'm doing? The answer is no. Did anyone ask that question? No, I asked myself that question. Let's grab Mike Conley. Right, so we got 2 Timberwolves, we have 2 Pacers. We can get Caldwell Pope here as our Denver player. And we'll grab Miles McBride. Ugh. Do we want to grab him? Yeah, we'll grab him as our Nick. That's going to do it. All right, we did 2 of these. I'm going to do a few more of those today. Drop a like, drop a subscribe. We had fun drafting a 1 tight end team. It was a good time. I think that team actually showed out to be pretty good. So I think 1 tight end is viable this year if you're drafting it properly. But until next time, we will catch you later. Peace.
1. Liftoff.
Woo! Those were some spicy takes. Want to stay up to date with all of the other spicy takes we're going to have over here at Spike Week? Why don't you press that subscribe button below? You turn notifications on, we draft a team, boom, you know about it. We have another spicy take, boom, you know about it. You can be there. You can draft with us. You want to stay up to date? That's how you do it. All right, we'll catch you later next time here at Spike Week.